In the heart of Nyamakrom, a village surrounded by lush forests and golden fields, there lived an old woman named Nana Ya. She was frail, with silver hair wrapped in a faded cloth, and her wrinkled hands trembled as she walked with a carved wooden staff. The villagers mocked her. "That old woman is useless," said the young men. "She is just a burden," the market women whispered. Even the children laughed at her slow steps and tattered clothes. She lived in a small, crumbling hut at the edge of the village, alone, with no family to care for her. The people of Nyamakrom never visited, never greeted her, and never offered her food or water, though they saw her struggling. But Nana Ya never complained. She simply smiled, her wise eyes watching the world in silence. One fateful evening, dark clouds gathered over Nyamakrom. The wind howled, and thunder cracked like the voice of angry gods. A fierce storm swept through the village, tearing roofs off huts, knocking down trees, and destroying the marketplace. Crops were ruined, livestock scattered, and the villagers cried out in despair. By morning, Nyamakrom lay in ruin. The chief, Nana Kwabena, stood before his people, his royal kente robe soaked with rain. "We must rebuild," he said, "but we have lost everything." Fear spread through the village. Would they survive? Then Nana Ya, the old woman no one respected, stepped forward. "I can help," Nana Ya said in a soft but firm voice. The villagers scoffed. "What can an old woman do? She can barely walk." But the chief raised his hand for silence. "Let her speak." Nana Ya pointed her staff toward the forest. "There is a hidden well deep in the woods. It is filled with fresh water. I know where it is." The villagers gasped. Water was scarce since the river had flooded with mud. If she spoke the truth, this well could save them. Despite their doubts, they followed her into the forest. After a long walk, they arrived at a crystal-clear well, untouched and pure. "How did you know about this?" the chief asked, astonished. Nana Ya smiled. "Because long ago, this was my father's land. He was the greatest healer of this village. He dug this well to serve the people, but when he died, the village forgot about him, just as they forgot about me." Silence fell. The same villagers who had mocked her now bowed their heads in shame. Nana Ya continued, "I have watched this village turn its back on wisdom, ignoring the elders who hold knowledge, but I never stopped loving this land." With the new water source, the village began to recover. The people repaired their homes, replanted their fields, and prospered once more. From that day, Nana Ya was no longer mocked. Instead, people came to her for advice, seeking her wisdom. She taught them about the land, the ancestors, and the secrets of the forest. Before she passed away years later, she left the villagers with one final lesson. A community that does not respect its elders loses its history, and without history, there is no future. When she died, the village built a shrine in her honor, ensuring that her wisdom would never be forgotten again. Wisdom is more valuable than wealth or strength. Those who ignore the wisdom of the elders will one day realize that knowledge is the key to survival.